Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Winning the Bid, Unlocking Procurement Opportunities webinar series. We'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. I was waiting for others to join.
James, I appreciate your father, man. He's been, since I brought that AI discussion up in our last board meeting, he's just been sending all kinds of stuff over.
Oh, really? I didn't even know he was that much into AI.
Yeah, you know your dad, man. He's full of surprises.
You know, sometimes he surprises me, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that's my daddy. It's all good, though. All good. We'll give about 30 more seconds, and we'll just jump on into it here. Let's see if I have. I do have, okay. Here we go.
The Utah Minority Business Development Center is a federally funded program under the U.S. Department of Commerce that dedicates its resources towards the development of socially or economically disadvantaged businesses. Our work focuses on providing access to contracts, capital, and markets. We connect our clients to private lenders, including financial institutions and investors. We look at securing local, county, state, and federal procurement contracts, as well as private procurement opportunities in corporations to accelerate growth and revenue. We position businesses to perform in high-growth industries, emerging markets, and global supply chains, along with providing assistance in becoming export-ready. If your business is seeking these resources and opportunities, come see us here at the Mill at Salt Lake Community College. Opportunities are waiting for you, and the Utah MBDA Business Center is looking forward to helping you achieve success.
There we go. Welcome, everybody, to our webinar series, Winning the Bid, Unlocking Procurement Opportunities. I'm James Jackson III, your director for the MBDA Business Center here in Utah. I'm joined by our business advisor, Dion Henderson, and our business coordinator, Marta Corrales. And I'll turn the time over to Mario and Dion to kind of go ahead and introduce themselves as well and their role here, how they can support you. So Mario, I'll go ahead and start with you.
Hi, everybody. Mario Corrales, Business Services Coordinator here at the Utah MBDA Business Center at the Mill. Happy that you're here. Looks like we have a little bit of a smaller group. That's okay. People tend to start trickling in on these things over the course of the hour, so totally fine. Also, if you have not registered for the rest of the webinar series, I highly advise you to take a look at our website, see some of the other upcoming topics. Very important stuff down the line. So happy that you guys are here. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat. We're also monitoring the Q&A as well. And then also, if you wouldn't mind leaving your business information in the chat, your contact information in the chat as well, would be great, really appreciated. Dion, I'll pass it off to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you to everyone that's participating. This is following on a cohort that we did in regards to introduction to contracts and procurement. we're following up from that cohort in a more specialized manner with these sessions. In regards to my position with the MBDA Utah, I am your business advisor. As you start going through that process and you find opportunities, I represent that advisor that can assist you in your procurement, in your knowledge base, in your connectors. Essentially, I can help you facilitate bringing your opportunities to fruition. All right. I look forward to meeting with each of you. As you get engaged with us, Mario Corrales will be your first initial contact, and thereafter, based off of what your need is, you will facilitate with me. All right. So look forward to working with you guys, and thank you for participating.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen. As we stated, we are located here at the Mill at Solid Community College. The Miller campus is located in Sandy, just off the frontage road on 97 South and 3rd West. Within the Mill, we have 6 different programs, including us here. Of course, we have the Mill Entrepreneur Center, which is our accelerator incubator space. We have over 350 small businesses that office out of the Mill. So if you're looking for a space to office other than your home, then you can have a home here at the Mill. We have full of training resources and networking events as well. And it's just a small monthly rental fee, depending if you want a desk or even a large office. Feel free to connect with us. We also have one of our small business development centers here. So if you're starting a business, looking to build out your business plan, we can help you with your projections or just get your business structured, then the small business development center is here to support you. The Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program is kind of like an MBA for growing small businesses. If you're looking to scale your business, have your business thrive, if you've been in business longer than 2 years, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program is an excellent educational platform for you, where you meet once a week for 8 to 12 weeks, provided with consultancy and education to kind of help you elevate your business to the next level. We also have resources for veteran-owned businesses with the Veteran Business Resource Center here at the Mill as well. And if you're looking to expand globally, then we have our Global Business Center, which is a certification program to teach you how to expand your business globally. Like I mentioned, we're located right here, Building 5, here at the Solid Community College Miller campus. So come on and see us. We're located here at the 2nd floor. So that's enough about the MBDA and our programming here at the Mill. So we're excited to go ahead and turn the time over to Mrs. Nakia Gibbs, who is our speaker today with Foundation Surety and Insurance Solutions. Pull up her bio really quick here. Nakia Gibbs is a seasoned leader with over 23 years of experience in acquisitions, logistics, and program management across the U.S. Department of Defense and private aviation sectors. As a business owner, she is a visionary with exceptional business acumen and dedicated her career to creating opportunities for others and empowering communities in particularly underserved markets. Nakia's academic journey is marked by a Bachelor of Science degree in biology with a minor in military science and music from Virginia State University, where she also earned a ROTC commission. She went on to complete her Master's of Business Administration from the University of New Haven, and her leadership has been instrumental in her various areas, including the first female commander of an Army Brigade headquarters company, where she led 125 military and civilian personnel. She also served as a regional manager for the Sikorsky Aircraft Corporation's Lakota helicopter program, balancing her command role while advancing her career in the defense and aviation industry. So from 2013 to 2023, Nakia served as a senior civilian leader at the Naval Air Systems Command, contributing significantly to the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter Program Office in Arlington, Virginia, which serves as the largest Department of Defense acquisition program, supporting 3 U.S. services, 7 cooperative international partners, and 9 foreign military sales customers. As Deputy Director of Global Supply Chain Integration, she led a high-performance organization comprised of 30 civilian and contractor personnel across 6 teams. She served as the focal point within the F-35 program to drive global strategic supply chain planning and operation, working collaboratively across government, industry, partner nations, and foreign military organizations. Her service team and her numerous accolades, including the Meritorious Civilian Service Medal and the STEM Women of Color Technology Rising Star Award. In 2021, Mrs. Gibbs joined her husband Peter in starting their own surety agency, Foundation Surety and Insurance Solutions, LLC. Their business serves as the only minority surety agency with a national footprint, providing essential bonding services to small businesses across the country, especially those in underserved markets. As Chief Operating Officer, she builds strategic partnerships and plays a pivotal role in helping small businesses grow their business through bonding. Foundation Surety provides opportunities for economic growth and opens doors for small businesses to succeed by helping them get approved for contract bonds that may be otherwise out of reach, says Nakia. To date, she has contributed to helping over 600 small businesses nationwide, securing over $2 billion in procurement contracts, and her agency was named #1 surety agency in 2024, issuing surety bonds utilizing the U.S. Small Business Administration to help small businesses. Nakia resides in Bury, Maryland with her husband and their 5 daughters. She's the mother of 2 beautiful identical twin daughters, Layla and Liana, and 3 amazing stepdaughters, Nicole, and fraternal twins, Caitlin and Courtney. So 2 sets of twins, my goodness. Together, they are committed to nurturing the next generation of leaders, entrepreneurs, and community champions. Now, I meant to shorten this a little bit, Nakia, but it was so impressive. I had to keep reading that. So we're excited to have you here, Nakia, and I'll just turn the time over to you.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Good afternoon, everybody. And, as the COO for Foundation Surety, I'm honored to be presenting today. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Utah MBDA for this opportunity to speak on this very important topic. Surety bonding is often an overlooked aspect when it comes to procurement preparation. And far too many times we've seen small businesses consider it only after winning a contract, and the requirement to secure a surety bond becomes so critical, and it's such a time-sensitive issue. In a lot of instances, the pressure to obtain a bond quickly, it can be overwhelming, and more oftentimes than not, we've seen small businesses lose out on those contract opportunities. So today, my goal is to help you proactively prepare for bonding requirements before pursuing contracts and ensuring that you never get caught off guard. So by the end of this session, I hope that you will have a solid understanding of, surety bonding, including the underwriting process, its relevance to procurement opportunities, what resources are available to you, and some of those key steps that you can take to qualify for and maintain bonding. So we'll just go ahead and get started here. Next slide, please. So these are a lot of the objectives for today. You're going to hear about what a surety bond is, why they are important, the resources that are out there to help you obtain a bond. I'll briefly walk you through the things that you need to know when it comes to applying for a bond and the benefits to working with an SBA surety bond expert. And then lastly, I'm going to leave you with some great tips that can help your business to grow based on the 32 plus years of experience we have helping small businesses. Next slide, please. So I would be remiss if I didn't take the moment and the time to talk about my better half. You've heard a lot about me in the opening introductions, but my better half, Peter Gibbs, is the reason why I'm able to even talk on this topic today. He has 32 years of service working for the SBA at the SBA's headquarters in Washington, D.C. And for 18 of those 32 plus years at the SBA, he served as the senior executive overseeing the Office of Surety Guarantees and the SBA's Surety Bond Guarantee Program. So during his tenure, he grew that program from $750 million to $7 billion by the time he retired. And he also successfully brought over 42 of the largest surety companies on board to support small businesses. So after he retired from the SBA, we started our own surety agency. And we now utilize the SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program to help small businesses. In the 3.5 years that we've been in business, we've helped over 600 small businesses with their surety bond needs and successfully helped them secure the contracts that they were going after. So we're proud to be the only minority surety agency with a national footprint. And like me, he is also a military veteran who retired as a lieutenant colonel after 27 years of service. And a good thing about the two of us, we met actually on deployment in Kuwait. That's how we ended up together after 6 years of dating after we met in Kuwait on deployment. So we do, like James mentioned in the introduction, we do have 5 daughters, 2 sets of twins. So he's always asking for prayers because he has no say-so in the house. Next slide, please. So among many of his accomplishments, one that I particularly like to highlight is the achievement noted in red. You know, during his time at the SBA, the program maintained a default rate of less than 4% and a program loss rate of just 1%. Why is that important, and why do I want to highlight that? Well, it demonstrates that the key factor is not whether or not a small business can perform the job, but rather when they are given the opportunity to do so, the risk of them defaulting on the project is really low, utilizing the SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program. So this is a great accomplishment, and it just reiterates what a lot of us already know, is that given the opportunity, small businesses can do the job and perform the job and get it done without very little issues or defaults happening. So that's a great accomplishment that we like to highlight. And even though this is one of his major achievements, the program overall still maintains a very low default rate and program loss rate. Next slide, please. So what exactly is a surety bond? A surety bond, it's very simple. It's a written agreement involving 3 parties. In this agreement, you have the surety company, which guarantees to the project owner, also known as the obligee, that the contractor will fulfill the terms of the contract. So essentially, the surety bond protects the obligee by ensuring that the contractors will meet the requirements and perform based on those requirements. There are 2 general categories of surety bonds. There's contract bonds and then there's commercial bonds. But today we are specifically talking about contract bonds. Bonds are purchased by a wide variety of businesses and individuals, including construction companies. And a lot of people think that surety bonds only apply to construction companies, but that's not true. We've bonded, I can tell you we bonded not only construction companies, but also service and supply companies as well. Everything from cleaning services to landscaping companies to transportation to IT companies, security surveillance companies, just to name a few. So if the contract requires a bond or has a specification for a bond, the company is applicable for bonding. Next slide, please. So did you know that all federal contracts valued, especially in the construction field, if it's valued at $150,000 or more, must be bonded? This is a requirement that's mandated by the Millers Act. And while it may not be law at the state, county, or private sector levels, many of these entities will mirror these same bonding requirements. So if you're going after federal contracts, mainly in the construction field, Although the limitation on the federal side is 150,000, there are contracts that are valued for less in the private, state, or counties that may also still ask you for a bond. Next slide, please. So if you're having difficulties getting bonding, the SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program can help. This program enables surety companies to support small businesses that experience difficulties obtaining bonding in the standard marketplace. The program essentially was designed to entice surety companies to take a chance on small businesses by guaranteeing up to 80 to 90% of the bond in case of default of a project. So, like I mentioned earlier, 42 of the largest surety companies are invested in small businesses today because of what Peter was able to do during his tenure working for the SBA. A fun fact here, in case you didn't know, according to the SBA, minority-owned businesses often face more significant barriers securing surety bonds compared to their non-minority-owned businesses. And according to the Minority Business Development Agency, data shows that minority-owned firms are approximately 30 to 40% less likely to be bonded compared to their non-minority firms in the standard market. So SBA recognizes this disparity. They established this program in 1970 to help small businesses facing barriers to success by creating this program to allow more access to opportunities for small businesses and also helping them to grow. And I'll talk about some of those benefits on the next slide. But SBA has partnered with surety agencies that utilize this program. And at Foundation Surety, we are partnered with the SBA and we are listed as an authorized agent. Next slide, please. So here are some of the benefits to the SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program. There are several that essentially help you when you're having difficulties getting bonding in the traditional market. So for instance, let's say you're going after a $1 million contract. In the standard market, to get a bond, you'll need 10% liquid cash in the bank. That's $100,000 of working capital. I don't know about you, but many of the small businesses we deal with don't have $100,000 liquid cash in the bank. For that same $1 million contract, utilizing the SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program, SBA cuts the working capital requirement in half. So needless to say, you can get that same $1 million contract with only $50,000 liquid cash in the bank. So it provides lower capital requirements, and it also can help you as far as doubling your bonding capacity because of those lower capital requirements. Now, what if you don't have 50K in the bank? Do you have a bank line of credit? If you have a bank line of credit, the unused portion of your bank line of credit is also counted as working capital. So you can have very little cash in the bank and still get bonded utilizing SBA's Surety Bond Guarantee Program. So the maximum job size you can do using this program for non-federal single projects is $9 million. And then for single projects, it's $14 million for federal single projects. And then at an aggregate level, it would be based on whatever your balance sheet can support. Next slide, please. And if there's anyone that has any questions, I'll answer any questions that anyone has at the end of this presentation. So how do you benefit? You can take advantage of the flexible requirements that I just discussed regarding the lower capital requirements and utilizing the bank line of credit, right? And then it provides you with double that bonding capacity, increasing your opportunities. Now, when it comes to how a surety agency evaluates you based on whether or not you are a bondable company, we're going to look at what we call the 3 C's: your capital, your capacity, and your character. With your capacity, we're looking at your ability to complete the work. It's going to be based on your experience in your field, your key personnel, and then your in-house business management practices. We're going to look at all of those things. And then when it comes to your capital, we're going to look at how much capital that you have based on your company's profitability and the quality of your financial statements. It's good to understand when you're talking about, excuse me, financial statements, what the difference is between an in-house financial statement and a reviewed financial statement. And there is a big difference because it's about $20,000 of a difference. You don't want to be paying for someone to provide you with reviewed financial statements when you're only going after a $2 million project. With this program, you can get up to a $2 million contract or $2 million bond, I should say, with good in-house financial statements. And that's using QuickBooks or, some of the other in-house applications that you can use to produce in-house financial statements. It's not until you get between 2 and 4 million do you need what's called a compilation financial statement. And then from 4 million and above, that would require you to have what's called an audited, reviewed financial statement. So don't pay for a review if you don't need it and spend money unnecessarily. So that's just a little tip we like to tell people when it comes to when we're looking at your capital. Now, when we're looking at your character, and what that essentially means is, we're going to be looking at your credit history and your business reputation. Are you paying your suppliers on time? Are you paying your bills on time? Are you paying your employees? All of that is going to tell us a lot about your character. Have you been in, prior bankruptcy proceedings for any issues with your business? Those are things that we will look into and help us evaluate your whether or not your company is bondable. Next slide, please. So to qualify for a surety bond, it's very similar to qualifying for a loan. You want to be current on your taxes or repayment agreements. If you owe the IRS, as long as you are current with no outstanding, past dues, you're fine. You want to pass the underwriting standards, which I'll get into in the upcoming slides, and also possess good character, which we just talked about. I previously discussed with you, the things that go into the evaluation, but what I want to also talk about is when it comes to these qualifications, you need to also have a need, right, for a bond that you are not able to obtain anywhere else, such as in the standard market. You want to make sure that you are a U.S.-based for-profit business with legal residence owners. So if you're a business that has like multiple owners, they all have to be legal residents in the U.S. and be eligible to do business with the federal government. To qualify, you also can't be involved in any current bankruptcy proceedings. And SBA recently changed their criminal history rule back on May 30th of last year, deeming that if you deeming you as the principal ineligible for SBA bonds if you are currently incarcerated or under indictment for a felony. So all of those things are a part of evaluating your qualification. And then lastly, make sure you are categorized as a small business based on your NAICS code. For construction, service, and supply firms, it's the average of your annual revenue from the past 3 years. You are considered a small business if your average annual revenue is 42.5 million or less. And then if you are a manufacturer, that would be the average number of employees. Next slide, please. So why do you need to have a relationship with a surety agent? If you wait until you get awarded a contract to get a bond, you put yourself at risk of losing that contract. Acquire bonds early. Don't wait until you are awarded the contract to come looking for a bond. This slide represents all the steps that goes into the bond process. So before you even start looking for or identifying a project, you're going to want to know what size jobs you should be going after. You need to know if you're even a bondable company. If yes, then what size jobs should I be looking for based on my bonding capacity? So you're not bidding on projects that your bonding capacity can't support. So understand the requirements and establish a bonding line with a surety agent, because working with a surety agent will help you identify what your limits are. So read the solicitations and understand if a bond would be required. Most contracts with a bond requirement will specify, and they will typically require you to submit a bid bond or maybe even a bondability letter from a surety agent. The typical process for a bond is the bond is requested, we'll submit a packet of forms that are to be completed. And when those forms are submitted back to the agent we begin the underwriting process. And then a determination would be made, and then the business would pay for that bond and the bond would be issued. And then it doesn't stop there with issuing the bond. We monitor the job until it's completed. So we will ask for status reports every 3 to 6 months on how the project is going and all the way up until it's completed. And then we go on to the next bond. So this is the bonding cycle. Typically, to issue a bond, it doesn't take long. We typically, our agency can issue a bond within 1 to 2 business days if we have all the information that we need. So it's just the packet of information that's required. That's why you don't want to wait until the last minute, because it can be overwhelming. Next slide, please. So I talked about this packet of information that we need. This is the checklist of information that's required. So typically when you go to a surety agent, they're going to ask you for this type of information. It'll be very similar to what you see here. For us, when we're doing underwriting, we have what's called the contractor's questionnaire. And that will probably take you the longest amount of time because it's about 7 to 9 pages, and it asks you just about everything you can think of about your business. We want to know all the aspects of your business, who your owners are, you know, what past performance jobs have you done? Have you been bonded before? This can seem like a very daunting task, but it's what we need to assess risk of your business, of your company. We want to know, have you been in any, you know, past had bankruptcy issues before? You know, it's a lot that goes into this process. If you're a new company, you've never been bonded before, you're emerging, you're just kind of starting, we're probably going to ask you for your last 3 years of tax returns. We are going to look at both your personal and your business bank statements and your financial statements. If you're a new business, we're likely going to ask you for resumes. We're going to want to know who are your key personnel that will be working on these jobs, your key personnel in your business, looking into your business management practices. If you currently have jobs that are you know, currently in work, we're going to want to see that we're going to want to see your work in progress reports. And we're going to look at job cost breakdowns. We're going to look at, we can even ask for reference letters on previous jobs that you've done before in the past. Again, all this goes into assessing the risk, because in the surety industry, it is all about risk. And so these are ways in which we can assess the risk of your business and determine what's a good position as far as bonding goes. Next slide. So yes, there are fees that are involved when it comes to bonding. For a bid bond, there are no fees. However, we do know some surety agencies that may charge for the application. They'll charge an application fee, but typically there are no fees for bid bonds, and we don't charge for bid bonds. When you're utilizing the SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program, you will have what's called a contractor's fee, and that's going to be 0.6%. That's non-waivable fee that goes to the SBA for utilizing that program. Now, the surety premium fee can vary based on the surety agency that you work with. So we typically start off new relationships at 2.5%. And after a bonding line is established and we've bonded you, you know, several times, and your capacity grows, the fees are reduced over time. But our rule of thumb is if you're paying more than 3.1% for a bond, you need to find a new surety agent, because you shouldn't be paying more than 3.1%. The good thing about fees, these fees, are that they are reimbursable to you. So, you know, when you're estimating for a project, When you're finished with your bottom line estimate, you need to add 3.1% to that estimate. And then when you submit your first pay app to, to the government or to the project owner, you need to be requesting as part of that first pay app, that 3.1%, and that will be reimbursed to you. Next slide. So I want to leave with you these tips that we have compiled over the 32 years of experience we have working with small businesses. This slide alone could be its own separate presentation, because we're very passionate about what we do, and this is our gift to you. It may not coincide with popular belief, but these are the tips that have helped small businesses we bond to grow their business. So the first one is hiring an accountant as your first full-time employee. Why do we say that? Because it essentially, that accountant can establish your foundation for your business. If you don't know your numbers, it's gonna be very difficult for you when you're engaging with other businesses or banks or surety agents or whomever you are dealing with on a business level, to talk about where you are as a business. And an accountant can help you do that by establishing essentially where you are, so you know where you need to grow, and what potential hurdles you might have to overcome. So establish a good relationship with an accountant. If you're in the construction space, you need to look for an accountant that understands construction. Why do I say that? Because an accountant in construction accounts for things differently than your standard traditional accountant. Construction accounting, they do things on an accrual base versus normal accounting will look at things on a cash based level. So make sure you know the difference, and depending on what field you're in, that you have an accountant that understands your field. Maintain a strong banking relationship. Just like I've stressed, having a relationship with a surety agent, you want to also have a relationship with the bank. We look at that actually as part of our risk. If you're hopping from bank to bank to bank, or you have a lot of different banks that you use, that can be looked at in a negative light. Know your business manager or your business rep at your bank. There's a lot of great resources that banks have, and when you establish a great relationship with a bank, they're able to help you in a lot of ways. So the other thing we talk about is focus and excel in one trade. A lot of times we have run into businesses, when you ask them what it is that they do, they tell you, well, I can do everything. That's not something that's looked at very in a positive light, especially when you're talking with a surety agent. We want to know what your trade is, and we want to know that you have mastered that trade, that you understand that field. If you're a startup company, and you're getting into a field that you have no background or no knowledge of, and you're getting into it because you're partnering with another business, that can be seen as a very risky business from a surety perspective. Start small and grow gradually. A lot of times, we've seen small businesses want to go after large projects. And again, based on where they are and what their balance sheet tells us, that project is too large for them for where they are. The businesses that we work with, we have them, we give them a starting point, based on job size, and we tell them that this is where your sweet spot is, and where we're comfortable in bonding you. And then as they worked on a few of those projects, then they go on to working on larger projects. But the key is you start small and you grow gradually. That way, and I'll give an example. Another example, if you are going after, let's say, a $1 million job, and something happens on that $1 million job, and that's the only job that you have, if you default on that job, your business is likely to be put out of business. And you'll find it very difficult to get jobs in the future. But if you go after 4 $250,000 jobs, I went to public school, but 4 times 250, I'm sure that comes up to 1 million. I can still get to my 1 million. And if I default on 2 jobs, I can still recover. My business can still recover from that. So start small, grow gradually. Don't just go after those large projects because you see the number, you get motivated by the number, and you find yourself in a position to where your business is put in risk. Develop a solid surety relationship with an agent. I think I've beat that horse. Avoid venturing into unfamiliar areas when profit begins. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying about if you're new to a certain field and you are not coming with the level of experience or expertise, you want to avoid venturing into those areas, especially when you start making a profit. So just be mindful of that. That's not something that we tell small businesses to do. We tell them to avoid doing that. And then don't, just because you start making a profit, don't start buying, luxury boats and getting, luxury cars and spending money on your daughter's wedding, or, paying off college tuition for your kids. It's from your business, right? All those things are seen as, negative and can increase your risk when it comes to getting bonding. So another one I want to talk about is avoiding joint ventures with thorough knowledge of the company's books and records. Why is that important? This is not popular belief because you hear all the time, if you're not an expert in something, partner with somebody who is, right? That's talked about all the time. And we actually teach the opposite. We teach that for small businesses, we want you to be selfish with your experience, and we want you to grow responsibly on your own. When you get into these joint ventures, and we're talking true joint ventures, and we're talking true partnership arrangements, especially in the construction industry, I don't care what you hear on YouTube or, some of these podcasts, the average profit on a construction project is about 14%. And when you are partnered or joint ventured with another business, you're splitting that profit. In best of scenarios, 50-50. That's 7%. That's not a lot when you're talking about trying to grow your business. But in most arrangements that we've seen, it's never 50-50. And a lot of times, small businesses find themselves in situations where they don't have control over the financials. They don't have control over being able to pay themselves or their subs. And it's always a situation or issues that come up that weren't, that weren't agreed to or thought about prior to getting into these partnership arrangements or joint venture arrangements. Make sure you have a good attorney if you are even thinking about getting into these types of situations, and know their books and their records. You need to see their books and their records to make sure that the company that you think that you're getting into a joint venture with or partnering arrangement with, where they stand as a company, and you feel that you can trust in doing business with that company. So don't put your own business at risk. Understand your competition and contract job cycles. It's very important that you do research on your competition. A lot of folks want to start businesses and they haven't done the research to understand who their competition is, and find themselves in situations where they're not winning contracts. And then they want to partner with the company who is winning the contracts. So also learn the government operations, and before you even get into the 8A, understand all that goes into the 8A program. A lot of people don't understand the cycle on how that works. It's very important if you're looking into getting into that 8A program. And then lastly, diversify your portfolio with not only doing government contracts, but private contracts as well. As you can see today in this world that we're living in, and everything that's going on with the new administration, there are a lot of contracts that, that are being cut. And you want to diversify yourself so that even despite things that may be going on the government side, you're still able to survive and do things also on the private side as well. So make sure you have that diversity in your portfolio. That's very important. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so help us help you. We like to put this in our presentation because there are things that you can do that cost you nothing, but can easily help you in getting what it is that you want, whether you're going after a loan or you're going after getting a bond. There are things that you can do that will put a lot more trust and help you in the long run for your business. Simple things that people just, they don't really think are important, but they really are important when you are dealing with agencies that are designed to help you or provide you with resources that you may need. So one of those is submit a complete and accurate application. Why is that important? Well, if you submit something and it's not complete, and then you turn around, or it's inaccurate, and then you turn around and you have corrections, or you have things that weren't on the initial application, it puts doubt in people's mind. I don't know if you've ever had that situation where you sent an email to someone that you didn't mean to send the email to, and then you try to recall the email, and then you find that the email recall was unsuccessful because they read it, and then you have to go back and try and clean that up. Well, it's very similar to those types of situations. If you put on your application that you've done, a $4 million job, and then turn around and tell us, oh, no, I didn't mean to put that. What I meant to say was 400,000. We're going to question that. And then we're going to question what other things maybe on your application that may not be accurate. So make sure you complete and you submit an accurate application the first time. Consult with your agent instead of guessing. Do not guess. If you don't understand or you have a question about a certain field or information that's needed, you should consult with your agent and ask the question. No question is a dumb question. We are here to help you. We're here to walk you through how to fill out the application and make sure that your information is correct the first time. So communicate promptly. If we reach out to you, if an agent reaches out to you, if anyone reaches out to you, it's just good practices to communicate promptly and not leave too much time that passes by before you connect back with them. Why? Because again, when it comes to bonds, when it comes to the time in which bonds are needed, you have very little time. So asking us to turn something around within 24 hours, but you haven't answered A, B, C, X, Y, Z for us can, it can slow down the process. So I talked about working with the construction accountant already. Build a strong relationship with your agent. Obviously, acquire bonds early. Don't wait until the last minute. Set up a bonding line with your agent and ensure that we advocate for you. That's our responsibility, is to advocate for you and to get those decisions that are needed made. One of the great things about our particular agency, the typical relationship between a surety agent and a surety company is that, the agent underwrites the bond and then they submit it to the surety company for decision. Well, we're partnered with one of the top 10 treasury listed surety companies called Merchants Bonding, and we have the in-house authority to make decisions and approve bonds. So we don't have to go back to the surety company. We can issue and approve bonds in-house. So having that in-house authority is not typical for most surety agents, but because of the relationship that we have and that we've established, we're able to do that up to a certain amount. So keep your financials current. Those are always great, practices to have, again, whether you're going after a loan or a bond. Next slide. All right, that's my last slide. So I'm open for questions.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Nakia. This information was very, very informative. I admit myself, I wasn't so familiar with bonding. I understood how important it was for small business, but all this information was very helpful for me. So I appreciate this presentation. If you do have any questions, go ahead and post them in the chat or the Q&A. We've been monitoring to those. So feel free to post any questions that you have in the chat. I will say that one, Nakia, appreciate your service as far as being a veteran and all the things that you and your Peter are doing. And yes, God bless your husband for 5 daughters and yourself there. You're right. He probably has absolutely no say there what's happening in that household at all. So, kudos to him for being that strong man he is to handle all the strong women in that household.
Absolutely.
Dion, you have your hand up.
Yes, wanted to ask the question in regards to, like you had mentioned, all of the changes that are taking place. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I did not pick up that we are neighbors. So I think that's awesome. We'll have to connect
Yeah.
more in depth. But with all the changes that are taking place in our here in DC and throughout the country, has the bonding requirements and stipulations changed with any of these EOs that are coming out and just changes that are around us?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So as far as the SBA Surety Bond Guarantee Program, none of their requirements as of today have changed. The great thing is the SBA is designed to help small businesses. So whether you're minority or not, you can utilize this program, and it's available to to any small business. So we have not been or have seen any of the impacts or have felt those impacts other than contract delays from different for on the federal side of things. But the program is designed to support not only government projects, but also on the private side as well. So having, those different, diversity aspects of the program really makes it a strong program. And currently today, it's about a $9 billion program, and about $2 billion of it is actually utilized. The small businesses take advantage of and utilize. So it's underutilized from what we can see. And that's why, we push so hard to get, minorities, small businesses to take advantage of this program.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because those are those target areas, unutilized resources that related to federal that they are trying to take, and repurpose. So
Yes.
Nikia, Justin Bagnell posted in the chat, we have been in business for 6 years and bonded multiple successful jobs. Our bonding agent company still make us submit tax returns for the business and 3 owners. Why would that be for every single bond?
Yeah, again, different bonding agents may require you to do that. It's not, typically we ask for, for new small businesses or emerging businesses who haven't been in business that long, will ask for their last 3 years of tax returns. So depending on, what types of information that they have on you, they could still be requesting that. But it's, for the businesses that we deal with, we would not, continue to keep asking for tax returns if you have good financial statements. So, that may be a question that you want to propose to the surety agent that you deal with, as far as why they're continuing to ask you for that.
So that's mainly the surety agent that's keep continue asking, whereas for the contracts, not necessarily required for that information.
Absolutely, yes, that's an agent requirement.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, just hope that answers your question. Have anyone reach out to your bonding agent to kind of understand the process and why that would be. Great, very, very helpful there. Right. If you do have any questions, feel free to post in the chat here, or if you have access to Q&A, you can do that as well.
Yeah, and okay, I see another one that just came in. what do surety bonds look like for? Okay, so if you're a nonprofit, surety bonds don't apply to you. We don't bond nonprofit organizations. You must be a for-profit based business for bonding. Another thing that I forgot to mention that I just want to throw out there is if you are a sub to a prime contractor and the contract requires a bond and that prime tells you, hey, don't worry about bonding, we'll just cover you under our bond. That's the worst thing. If you're a sub, that's the worst thing that you could do is just be covered under your prime's bond. And the reason why we say that and why it's important that as a sub you get your own bond is, you know, after you finish the project, or let's say you separate from that prime for whatever reason and you decide to go venture out and get projects on your own, when you're dealing with a surety agent, one of the things we're going to ask you is, what bonded projects have you done? And if you've always been covered under someone else's bond, you're starting from zero as far as bonded projects that you've done, which means that your risk still remains, you know, at a position to where as if you are, you know, a new company coming in and getting bonding for the first time. So you want to make sure that you're getting the bonds for the projects that you're doing and make sure that you are covered. And getting your own bond, you can ensure that you are covered for the work that you're doing. And don't just depend on the prime's bond to cover you and the work that you're doing for that project. I hope that makes sense.
No, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Appreciate that insight. I didn't even think about that. That's good to know. Do we have any other questions coming through the chat? Feel free, if anything comes up, feel free to post them throughout the rest of our webinar here. I see, Nikhil, you also added your contact information here as well for people to reach out to you.
Yes. Yes, if anyone has any questions or is looking for bonding, you know, feel free to reach out to me. That's my contact information. And on the next slide, we're able to do free consultations for you. And we can determine, you know, if you're a bondable company and, you know, what things you should be doing if you're interested in getting a bond. Or if you just, you know, you don't have a great relationship with your current surety agent, you know, we're on a national level. We're licensed in all 50 states. So all of our clients are all throughout the US that we bonded. So we're here to help. And we, like I said, we're very passionate about what we do and helping small businesses. So I want to thank you, James, the Utah MBDA, the whole team for this opportunity to talk about this very important topic. And, you know, we just appreciate being a resource partner to you guys.
Great. Well, thank you, Nikhil, for being here and presenting us this very valuable information. And I just wanted to share real quick that we will be, this presentation is being recorded and is going to be loaded to our on our website. And so if you are a client of the MBDA, we have now a client portal. So if you go here to the client portal, if you're already a client, or you can, in the bottom right corner here, you can log in or sign up to where you can have access to the presentation as well as this recording. We'll be uploading these. This information should be uploaded by tomorrow afternoon, and so you have access to this presentation as well. And so having the kids information is there. If you ever want to reach out to her regarding any of the information that she presented. And once again, Nikki, we do appreciate your time and attention here today as well. I do want to let people know about a couple of announcements that we do have. We have our next webinar here occurring on April 16th. Nikki mentioned about if you're looking, that line of credit counts as far as your working capital. So we have some great presenters here to talk about how to access capital, whether it be lines of credit. We have Lendistry here they do a lot of work for those who are trying to get contracts and how you can leverage your contract towards accessing capital. Paul Jolly is with the U.S. Small Business Credit Initiative. You can talk about the two types of lending products that I have here throughout the banks that have taken on that. Then we have Daniel Lauer, who can talk about the Community Advantage SBA program, as well as their 504 loan program. So great opportunity to learn about all the different types of capital that is available for our clients here. And then on May 15th, we are having our business matchmaking event. So you can go to register at businessmatchmaking.mbdaconnector.com. We'll have a workshop regarding getting your MBE, DBE, all the different types of certifications that are available for private and public contracting work. We've partnered with the Northwest Mountain Minority Supplier Development Council to assist you with your workshop, with your certification. Then after the workshop and keynotes, we have the matchmaking. So you can go and register, and you'll be able to be matched with either private or public corporations and organizations and learn about their procurement opportunities. We will also have small business resources like Apex Accelerator or the Small Business Development Center. And you can sit down and learn, what you need to start growing your business, whether it be from getting your SAM registration to your capability statement, or learn how to get your business plan done. We also have some funding resources as well to assist you as far as accessing capital and what other type of funding is out there for you. So you can go to bizmatchmaking.mbdaconnector.com, and both of these events are also on our website, utah.mbda.com. So with that, we appreciate you guys joining us. We just have a closing video as we wrap up.
We'd like to thank you for participating in our webinar series, Winning the Bid, Unlocking Procurement Opportunities. I hope you benefited from the information shared and are ready to elevate your business by getting prepared to access the opportunities that await you. If that's you, please go to our website, fill out and submit our intake form, and our team will connect with you to begin this new and exciting relationship.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us today, and we'll see you guys on April 16th. Take care, guys.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Yes. And Dion, let's connect.